Hello, hello! Welcome to A Novel Console, your weekly podcast where we talk about books, games, food, and stuff that caught our attention during the week. My name is Chris, and with me is my beautiful co-host and wife, Karradyne.
Hello!
Why didn't you do Palpatine?
Oh, hello.
Okay, do Vader.
Hello. I can't do it.
Karradyne, who's with us today?
My little brother.
What's his name?
His name is Haynes.
Like the underwear?
Yes. But with a Y. Haynes.
How are you doing today, Haynes?
I'm doing pretty good. About as good as I could be doing, it's considering the circumstances of what we're about to talk about.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Can you do me the favor and read what your microphone says on it on the white part? On the white part? On the white part? On the white part?
Yes. I believe it says Haynes.
Exactly.
Ex-temp.
It
You did
is.
that on purpose. Actually, all of your socks are Haynes, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty sure
it is
they are.
specifically, what's it called? Custom made just for you. You're the only one that gets a Haynes sock on it. Don't worry, it's clean. After a day of use. Karradyne, we have a couple of important things to do, but first let's get into our regular intro, which is, if this is your first time or 141st time coming into the show, welcome. We're glad you're joining us for an episode of A Novel Console. We hope you stick around, have some laughs, and maybe find some new things to enjoy. If you want to reach out to us, you can do it on our socials, which is basically at A Novel Console on every platform, or you can email us directly at anovelconsole@gmail.com, or if you would like to support us, you can do it at patreon.com/anovelconsole.
You should also tell your friends about the show because it's a good show, and you should leave us a review, even if it's a bad review, because they help us be more discoverable. We have a Discord. If you want to join that Discord, just send us an email saying, hey, add me to the Discord, bitch, or go to Twitter and look for the pinned tweet. But if you don't say, hey, add me to the Discord, bitch, we will not add you to the Discord.
Bitch.
Exactly.
Okay, first thing we got a couple of questions for Haynes, but before that, we have an important comment from YouTube from last week. Last week's episode got people commenting on YouTube, which is great. Somebody told us, Mikey Chimbira said, hey, I wasn't going to listen to the whole thing, but you guys are wholesome. Amazing audio, no talking over each other. Interesting new topics. Oh my God, guys. You guys don't stop.
You know, I feel like wholesome is not the adjective he would have used or they would have used. I don't know if Mikey's a man. If it had been a Sex Toy of the Week episode.
But he probably didn't hear me yelling at you to give me the chips.
Probably. Or like that first episode with the Frankenstein dick.
With Frankenstein's dick.
Yeah.
Then we have a very tame burrito.
Here.
A very tame burrito kind of destroyed my spirits. But it's okay because he gave us information that Google didn't. He says, yeah, it's no longer canon, referring to the Clone Wars.
Oh, sad day.
Clone Wars. There are some books and comics released at the same time as part of some sort of multimedia project, but all that might as well be considered non-canon thanks to the '08 Clone Wars due to the contradictions it brought to previous Clone Wars context. In my opinions, both are okay, so to each their own.
Oh, well, we're still going to say that's how Grievous got his cough.
I don't know if they explored in Clone Wars.
Yeah, we're gonna say that's how.
Okay, Haynes.
Yes.
Let's start. First question. What's your favorite book?
That's tough. So I don't want to be like basic, but if I'm just going off the rip, I think the first Hunger Games book, I've never been so like enthralled into like, you know, like a universe in a book. It's hard for me to read books, you know. I have diagnosed attention issues. So that's something that it kind of changed my view of reading, honestly. It's like, okay, I can actually do this. I can read a book.
When did you read that?
The first time that I read it all the way through was the 4th grade, actually.
Really?
Yes.
I had no idea. Was I still living at home when you were in 4th grade? How old were you in 4th grade?
Let's see, 4th grade.
No.
So, yeah.
So you would have been like 10
or
so. Yeah, no, I was gone.
Yeah, gone.
Sorry.
Just a memory.
What was it about it that you liked so much?
So, I mean, you know, that was around the time when all the movies were coming out and everything. Yeah. And, you know, I remember Belle, she had a friend, Clay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he was really into the books. And so we went on a short beach trip with him, I remember. And I think he had Catching Fire with him. And he was just telling me about it the whole time. I would ask him questions about it. And so he explained this whole canon of the series. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get my hands on this. I need to read this. And so I did.
So if you liked The Hunger Games, I know it's been a long time, you should read Scythe.
Okay.
It's so much better.
Yeah.
So much better. And
speaking of
Jedi.
When are you going to read the Thunderhead?
Shut up. And it's Thunderhead.
I don't care.
Thunder. No, I went to one of his book signings and he explained that part of how he came up with the premise is because of the Jedi.
For Thunderhead?
Shut up. Oh my God, go away.
I'm asking you for Haynes' knowledge because you're just being like, and he doesn't know who he is.
The author.
There you go. Was that so hard?
Did you know what I was talking about?
Kind of.
Oh my God.
Not
anyway.
Really. He didn't know.
What's next?
So, just that book, that's your favorite book?
You asked him for his favorite.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. He can say other stuff other than his favorite.
That and like, you know, like Dr. R.C. Sproul has like a couple like short books and everything, like Common Questions, things like that. He does like theology books and stuff like that. So I think those are really cool. I think he answers some really good questions. I definitely like those a lot.
Okay. All right. Next question. What is your favorite game?
Video game.
Or games?
Favorite video?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. So, that's throwing some like curveballs.
I know.
You
played Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes.
I remember we were hanging out once and you were playing it.
Loved Red Dead. Really enjoyed Black Ops Cold War Zombies specifically. Was really good. One? Yes, newer. So Vanguard Zombies was terrible. It was a joke. So Cold War Zombies was great. That's like peak performance, I think. I enjoyed Black Ops 3 Zombies, but after playing Cold War, it's kind of hard to go back to those old mechanics like the invisible walls and everything. You can't mantle over like anything. I loved Mafia 2. That was a great one. Mafia 3 kind of a letdown. But, you know, sort of that kind of stuff. You know,
nothing comes to your mind as favorite of all time that you would play over and over again if you could?
If I had one game that I could play for the rest of my life, so hard.
It's still a struggle.
Yes. Okay.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't know that I could choose one book to read for the rest of my life. I want to say it would be The Hobbit or one of the trilogy, but I don't think it would be.
Okay, so honestly, I think if you had to have one game for the rest of your life, in my opinion, it's going to have to be something from Rockstar. I mean, they've got so much in it. You could spend years casually playing through Red Dead and still not see Red Dead 2, that is, and still not see everything that it has to offer. So, give me Red Dead 2. Only game I'm playing.
That's okay. Red Dead 2 is really good. Grand Theft Horsey, remember that one?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, that is a very good game.
I honestly was sitting here thinking he might say Red Dead. We're on a roll. I knew he was going to tell a story about crystals earlier, and now I knew he was going to say Red Dead.
Yes.
Yeah. Crystal's not my sister.
No, not the sister. The small hamburgers.
Yes, the terrible small hamburgers.
Hey, but just got the PS4, so I've played through part of Last of Us Part 2. I haven't played the original Last of Us.
Don't talk to him about The Last of Us.
I like 2. I don't like 1. I hate 1.
So I really enjoyed 2, but I never got to finish it because I didn't have a PlayStation. I had to play it on somebody else's. So if I come back on the show soon, I might have to update as
you
to
watch
what
the
the
sh- the
favorite
show?
game is. I absolutely did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you like it?
It was amazing. It was great. As someone, okay, so I know that's probably controversial to a lot of people, but as someone who watched a lot of The Walking Dead, notice I said a lot and not all, it
It's still going.
kind of trailed off.
I saw the ad for Walking Dead, whatever.
Dead City or
Yeah,
something.
Dead City, whatever it is. Oh my god.
Yeah, it got a little rough there for a while. It's a grind, but one thing that I loved at least about Last of Us Season 1 was that it had that, like, Walking Dead, that gritty Season 1, Season 2 kind of feeling
like
to it.
new and not overdone yet.
Right, like we're not contradicting the type of, zombie lore that we have.
Yeah, okay. We watched the first episode.
Yeah, Mama forced us to watch that first episode.
Yeah.
Because we were thinking about doing it as a Patreon series.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I liked it. He didn't like
I don't know
it.
that that's going to happen because I cannot fucking stand Ellie. I hate Ellie so much.
I think you need to separate Game Ellie and Show Ellie.
I can't. They're exactly the same.
same.
That little bit of Ellie that you see on the show is exactly how Ellie is in the game. She does such a well job portraying Ellie that
good
it
job.
fucking irks the shit out of me.
Oh,
I
boy.
cannot stand her.
Be that as it may, I think she got a lot of hate that she did not deserve because of, like, people saying, "Oh, well, she's not a good Ellie. I don't think she's not my Ellie." And check that at the door, man. She did a great job.
So the reason why people are saying that is because Ellie's supposed to be pretty, right? And this girl,
She is not a pretty girl.
No.
Bless her
We've
heart.
got some unresolved
I mean,
issues if we're gonna hate on her.
they
a
are
14-year-old for being
not a
ugly.
pretty-
I mean,
Bless it.
Nobody
I mean,
pulled up pictures of me when I was 14.
Why do we need to make a 14-year-old attractive anyway?
Exactly.
14-year-old, that's creepy.
she is exactly like Ellie is in the game. That little scene when she tricked Joel into telling him what fucking song came on the radio or whatever it was.
The bad news part thing, whatever, the 80s music.
And then she goes into like, I gotcha, or whatever the fuck she did. I was like, oh, this is fucking Ellie. I hate her so much. And like people are like, oh, people who hate Ellie hate her because she's gay. I'm like, no, I hate her because she's a fucking terrible character. She's obnoxious. Oh God, fucking Ellie.
Hey, but
Abby was right. Abby did everything right in The Last of Us 2.
Spoilers!
Pedro as Joel.
He was pretty, but Joel is a terrible character too. He's awful.
So
I wanna keep
So you guys
watching.
haven't gotten through season 1.
Oh,
That's
no, we
right.
only watched the first episode.
Oh, so I've got a leg up then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He spoiled the whole game for me.
Because
So,
you asked me.
well, yeah. I mean, I'm
So-
not that invested, but I would like to watch the rest of it.
So
It's not like when Mama spoiled The Lord of the Rings for me.
some of it they stayed really true to the game. Some of it
Creative liberties.
Yeah.
I
You know.
figured.
And I mean, as a whole, I think it was good.
From what I've heard, it's like a 90% the game and 10% new creative liberties. Because like the whole thing is like very straight, close to the game story. And like the things that they added that were different were like the whole Frank scene. And
I can't wait to see that.
there's some
Episode 3,
scenes
yeah.
with Ellie's mom that happened that never happened in the game.
Which
I
was
definitely wanna keep
very,
watching.
very good scene.
Yeah.
You guys really
You need some
enjoyed it.
backstory. Come on. I mean, if you hate it, that'll be good content. Come on,
won't be
listeners.
good.
It'll be good content because you rarely get to talk about things that you hate.
It won't be good content because I'm
You're
going to
going to
be
wind up liking it. And
and the entire time I'm going to be complaining about Ellie.
I'm going to be like, it was such a good episode. I loved it. I fucking hated it.
Because like when the patrons chose the game, right? They chose The Last of Us, being like, he's gonna hate the game. I was like, the gameplay was better, but it's still the same shitty story with the same shitty characters. And people were like, yeah. And now I posted something about The Last of Us on Discord, and Thrak is like, I'm tired of The Last of Us. I'm sick that it's like Sony's only first party game that they decide to like pander to.
Bless it.
Yeah.
If we're gonna say something about Sony, I'm gonna have to go AWOL here and say that we need Raimi 4 and we need The Amazing Spider-Man 3 immediately.
Dude, you are barking into oblivion. I don't think those are ever gonna happen. He's talking about Amazing Spider-Man 3 and Spider-Man 4.
No, it can so happen. It can so happen. So there's talks right now.
Which Spider-Man are we talking about here?
Tobey Maguire
one more for
and
Tobey
Andrew
and
Garfield.
one more for
Yeah.
Andrew.
So the crossover with Venom with
Andrew?
Yeah, with Tom Hardy, Venom, and Andrew, and we bring in Tobey Maguire and
You have to bring in fucking Topher Grace.
well, Hugh Jackman. no, listen, Hugh Jackman, Tobey Maguire, Wolverine, and Spider-Man in Secret Wars. We're gonna make it happen.
He's on a campaign.
Oh man, Haynes is campaigning. All right, Haynes, before you get Sony on our asses, favorite food ever?
Buffalo wings.
Yes,
100%.
I believe it. Yeah.
100%.
I know, like, every single birthday, it's like Buffalo Wild Wings, something with wings.
Gotta be honest though.
I am so upset. Was there not a Wingstop here?
In Albany?
Maybe. I don't think so though.
I
Because I
am
totally would have been there
devastated.
already. Yeah, there's one in Columbus though, right?
Yeah, but it's still too far.
It's an hour away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not just going to be able to be like, oh, let's get Wingstop for dinner. Granted, I know we couldn't do that anyway, but still.
But I'm gonna kind of say something here, and
If you say that Buffalo Wild Wings is better than Wingstop, I'm gonna throw my cup at you.
I'm gonna throw mine at you,
I was gonna
too.
say that Buffalo Wild
I'm going to
Wings
stab you with my straw.
is not good.
it's trash.
Yeah.
It's
Alright.
awful.
It's so bad. Like
It's so bad.
$15, and you get the boneless wings, and it's like almost like Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets if they left them in the bottom of the fryer, burnt them to a crumbly crisp.
And the little flakes.
Yeah, and you drizzled the worst
Sauce.
like booty sauce over them.
Booty sauce
I
is
remember,
right.
and
Do better, Buffalo Wild Wings.
one of the reasons I'll never forget this is one of our first-ish dates. He took me to Buffalo Wild Wings on iDrive.
Because I wanted wings.
He wanted wings so bad. We should have fucking gone to Wingstop, but this was before
Wingstop wasn't there
he
yet.
got me into wings too. There was no Wingstop yet?
Nope.
Okay. I also was not a wing eater yet because, you know, I hated chicken wings. I hated them. I could eat them every day now.
Oh,
every day.
Wingstop?
Oh, hell yeah.
That is a treat.
Hell yeah.
When
But he took me to the Buffalo Wild Wings, and I only remember because the food was so fucking bad, and he told me that he was saving money so that he could put a ring on it. But he just like dipped it in casually, and I was like, he wants to marry me.
well,
Here you are.
Here
Okay.
I am.
so I don't understand that because Buffalo Wild Wings is terribly overpriced.
It
is.
really
Terribly
is.
overpriced.
I remember that bill being like $60, and I felt like we didn't eat anything.
From what I hear, the burgers are mid.
Oh
decent.
no.
So
Really?
like the thing is, they're
I'm not even gonna give it a chance.
they're what is it? They're Thai curry wings. They're pretty decent.
Yeah.
They're not bad.
You mean the sauce is decent?
The sauce is decent. But the thing is that most of the other sauce feel like you have sand mixed with wet stuff.
I think Buffalo Wild Wings is what made me think I hated buffalo sauce. And I don't hate it.
I hate buffalo sauce. I'm not a fan of it.
I don't love it, but I don't hate it as much as I thought I did.
Do yourself a favor. If you have never gone to the Mellow Mushroom establishment and gotten the Thai chili wings, they are
Did we get wings
No.
when we went? I didn't think we got wings when
No,
we went
because
to
every
Mellow
time that we
Mushroom.
go somewhere and have pizza,
We were too distracted by the pizza, the pretzel rolls that tasted like bananas.
every time that we go somewhere to get pizza, I'm like, I'm gonna get wings. And you're like, don't get wings. It's gonna be too expensive. And I'm
Okay.
like,
I do
I don't
that.
give a shit.
If
I
there's
want
time
wings.
left in the day, that might have to happen. They also have a Cloud9 wing.
What the hell is a Cloud9 wing?
I can't quite. From what I remember, I think it was like Parmesan, almost, but like the powdery kind. But
From the shaker
kind of, if I'm remembering correctly,
with the green lid.
but it's also almost got like some. I don't know. It's so ridiculously good. So good.
We might have to make a trip to Mellow Mushroom then and give it a second garbage.
Maybe.
Because we went and it was fine. Like I had a Hawaiian pizza and it
like
was
a Godzilla pizza.
Yeah, and it was actually good. The dough was trash, but the way that they built the pizza was very, very solid.
I don't know if y'all have ever made a trip to Dick's Wings, but the one that I frequented actually got shut down for tax evasion.
Oh, no!
Nice.
No lie. I walked up to the door. I tried the door. It's locked. I look, and there's a paper, and there's this big, like, local government notice, like, this location was audited
Holy
and failed.
shit!
Yeah. So,
Damn.
only kings who don't pay their taxes eat at the Dick's
Oh, my
Wings.
God.
Nice. Gotta start tax evading so we can eat there. That's funny. Okay, so yeah, we when you said that you want me, Karradyne, to make pizza and wings soon.
I want it so bad. I want your pizza and your wings with some... We need to make sure we have Caesar dressing on hand because that was the only dressing that we had in the apartment, and I ate your Frank's coated wings with Caesar dressing, and it was like the best taste ever.
I do make some very, very good wings.
The night we make pizza and wings, you and Sarah gonna come over.
That's right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We put blue cheese on our pizza.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, it's more like, what do you want on your
because I
pizza?
like mold.
We have a bunch of stuff that we put on our pizza, and it's like,
put
what do
a
you
bunch
want
of shit on that
yours?
pizza.
Yeah. So we have friends over, like, do you want it the way I make it? No.
Most
What do you
people
want?
don't
They
want
like
it the way we
pepperoni?
make it.
Like, all right, just pepperoni then.
Bitch.
So
Fucking child.
to pull back the veil a little bit, I'll be honest. I'm getting on the Domino's app. I'm getting the original hand tossed with white sauce, Italian sausage, roasted red peppers, and jalapeno peppers.
That sounds pretty good.
Actually, that's how. Oh,
It's-
God. That does sound pretty
Okay.
good.
It's got a little spice to it. Now, Pizza Hut, you can get something as well, and their white sauce pizza slaps.
My husband does not love Pizza Hut, but I
No,
love
I'm
Pizza
sick
Hut.
of Pizza Hut.
I love Pizza
I don't
Hut.
hate it. I'm sick of it because
love
every time
it.
that I say, let's get pizza, you're
I'm
like,
like Pizza Hut.
Well, you know,
Pizza Hut.
they closed a lot of them in this area.
Yeah, they did. There's still one just
Yeah.
down the road.
Yeah, there is.
What are the odds? She'll be
10
here
minutes away.
in bumfuck nowhere with the Dairy Queen and McDonald's.
I don't even think there's not a Domino's, is there? Yeah, it's just Pizza Hut over there.
I think that if they had Domino's, like Pizza Hut would go out of business because Domino's is way cheaper.
No, it's not.
But I don't know
It
why
really
you would,
isn't that
you
much
would do that
cheaper.
because Domino's is disgusting.
I'd like to imagine that they'd like meet, like gather in the middle of the street, like the first few minutes of like Gangs of New York, and they would all like brawl out in the street for who is the dominant pizza place in
But
town.
they should also make their locations like a CVS and Walgreens,
you
kind of
remember-
corner to each other.
You remember when we got cheeseburger pizza and taco pizza, and I was
It
so
was
excited.
the worst thing I've ever eaten
I
in
was
my
so
life.
excited for the cheeseburger pizza, and it was disgusting.
so bad.
Oh, it was so
That was pretty early on.
heartbreaking.
Yep.
It was pretty early on in the podcast life. Man, what dreams. All right,
Been a fun time
why are you wiggling your finger like that?
because I'm hot.
Me too.
It's so fucking hot in this room.
I told you to get the fan, but
Oh
you
my
didn't want
God.
to listen. So, all right, so we are gonna start talking Star Wars now.
Yeah. Am I going to do the music again?
Please no. Let me just put this.
Ba, 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 ba,
I learned how to edit audio so I could put music on our episodes, and
Not
you
for
just
Star Wars
and
month.
you just want to make the music on your own.
Just for Star Wars month.
Did you just do like? I feel like you started Star Wars, but that ended as Superman. That was definitely Superman.
No, it didn't. I am an excellent tune reproducer.
Star Wars.
He said Superman, not Batman.
I know you got even more confused.
Oh my
I don't know where the hell you went.
Batman and Superman are not the same person.
I forgot to look up even the fucking Star Wars stuff that I was going to talk about. The Last Jedi is a terrible movie that we just watched on the couch.
I was bored as fuck.
Oh, it's so bad. Okay, let's see. The Last Jedi. Star Wars The Last Jedi, also known as Star Wars Episode VIII, The Last Jedi, is a 2017 American epic space opera film written and directed by Rian Johnson, produced by Lucasfilm and distributed by Walt Disney Studio Motion Pictures. It is the second installment of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, following The Force Awakens, and the 8th episode of the 9-part Skywalker saga. The film's ensemble cast includes Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Andy Serkis, Lupita Nyong'o, Domhnall Gleeson, Anthony Daniels, and Gwendolyn Christie, Kelly Marie Tran, Laura Dern, and Benicio del Toro. It follows Rey as she seeks the aid of Luke Skywalker in hopes of turning the tide of the Resistance in the fight against Kylo Ren and the First Order. This is... How long is this fucking movie? 152 minutes of absolute fucking nothing.
2.5 hours, basically. What date did it hit theaters? I know it said 2017.
December 15th, 2017.
That's why we were so mad. Well, not only was it done poorly, but we were so mad because it had been a whole fucking year since she died, almost to the day. And they didn't let her die.
They didn't let her die.
That was the most infuriating part of this movie to me.
No, hey, that's actually when Star Wars became Superman, you know?
Oh my God. I can't.
Flying back to the ship.
It was funny when we sat down to watch this movie. I think I'd forgotten which one it was. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is the one where this happens and this happens. And then we get to another scene. And I'm like, oh, fuck, it's where this happens.
Yep.
Terrible movie.
So let me get into some initial thoughts, and we'll go. Okay. First off, I hate this movie. let's just start.
Cut to the chase.
I hate this movie. I don't hate it because it changes the Star Wars formula. Because I feel like the Star Wars universe is so big and so massive.
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
You can tell whatever kind of fucking story you want, and it would work. Like, there's Star Wars kids shows about little kids learning how to use the Force. That's fine. There's room for that. There's also fucking shooter Star Wars games where you're clone troopers, and, you know, there's room for that. There's room for any kind of story. So this story in this movie, there was a space for it. But it was done so fucking poorly. Like, they spent 2.5 hours
doing nothing.
Like, just a ship
Literally
flying,
nothing.
getting shot at. 2 dildos running around a casino trying to find some dumb fuck to help them. And then Rey, the entire movie, just trying to learn how to be a Jedi from Luke, who doesn't want to teach anybody how to Jedi. And then her going and getting captured by Kylo Ren. Nothing happens in this movie, and that's why I hate it.
Literally nothing. I remember vividly being so infuriated after seeing the scene in the theater with the mirrors and the millions of rays. Like, it literally was pointless. So many stretches of nothingness that were pointless.
I mean, think about how many setups that... So, we know that there were a lot of setups in Last Jedi that nothing ever happened. Like, J.J. Abrams just snuffed out for Rise of Skywalker. But how about all the setups within the movie that never went anywhere?
Exactly.
The whole thing about, like, you know, getting onto the ship, we've got to disrupt the little tracker and everything. And
it went nowhere.
Yeah.
Nothing happens with that.
Yeah, and the Holdo lady, she was wrong. Oh, they're not looking for transport ships. Yeah, they are.
Well, now they're looking for transport ships because Benicio del Toro was like, they're escaping on the little ships, and they're like, oh, he was right.
So I guess that was the whole point of that entire plot line, was just so that he could tell them.
It did absolutely fucking nothing. They went to the planet for nothing because her plan, if they would have just stuck to her fucking plan, if she would have told them her fucking plan at the beginning and be like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go a little bit further to make them get comfortable with chasing us.
They never would have gone.
We'll escape, and they never would have been the wiser they escaped.
Exactly. And she would have stayed behind no matter what.
Only she would have said something.
She's your girlfriend.
We're still,
you get mad at her.
We're still getting stuff out of what Karradyne. First opinions of the movie. Tell me.
First opinions of the movie?
Yes, like I did.
Once I remembered which movie it was, oh my God, why do I have to watch this? This is boring fucking shit.
You were like...
This is so boring. I'm so bored.
Okay, so for the listener, this is how it went. We were sitting there and Karradyne's like, okay, it's Star Wars. And then she sees Rose's sister killing herself. And she's like, oh, it's this fucking movie.
Yeah, so at least I realized at the very beginning which one it was. Because I definitely... I didn't need to ever see this movie again. No. Ever. Because you made me watch it last year, and then we never recorded the episode.
Because we were going to do it on Patreon, like
and then we never did
for the
other one.
Actually, the Rise of Skywalker episode is not Rise of Skywalker. The Force Awakens episode is it's on main feed. Go listen to it. It's pretty funny. It has one of my favorite jokes of all time, which is Starkiller Base is exactly what Republicans think solar energy is. You need to listen to it so you can get more context to it.
What are your initial one sentence thoughts?
Doesn't even have to be one sentence because I did a whole monologue.
He did.
Last Jedi?
Yes.
So I guess I'll kind of say like earlier, like what I thought about it. If you give a madman a beloved decades-long franchise, you hand him hundreds of millions of dollars and you're like, hey, end the story however you want to. We don't need another one. Just go ahead, kill it off, do whatever you want to with it. We're going to cover our eyes. This is what you get. It's not even it doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie. It feels like something,
a fever dream.
Yeah, some other type of movie,
fever dream,
with just your favorite Star Wars characters thrown into it.
And the thing is that it has moments where it feels like Star Wars, like the beginning when Poe is attacking the ship by himself and then the bombers come.
Yeah,
that scene is fucking awesome. I love that scene. The scene where
with Snoke,
after they kill Snoke, with Kylo and
Rey fighting together.
That's really cool.
That was
the
awesome.
Scene where Holdo sacrifices herself.
That's an awesome
That was fucking awesome.
Epic.
That battle against the AT-ATs and the little fucking beat up junkers or whatever the fuck they're called. That was
Star Wars.
That was very Star Wars. That was very Hoth. But
letting Admiral Akbar die and treating it like it was absolutely nothing. He gets sucked out and then it's, oh, Admiral Akbar's dead with the rest of the fleet. Sad day.
It's like Leia came back,
one
but
of the
Akbar's
most
dead.
iconic, like minor characters ever.
They gave Holdo more recognition in her death
that we had never seen before.
Yeah,
I think it would have had
Who's
more
hot as hell.
meaning if
she's so fucking fine.
Admiral Akbar had been.
That old lady is hot.
Rose's sister,
Adam Driver, is hot.
Rose's sister got more screen time than Admiral Akbar.
Right? She got a more recognized and admirable death than Admiral Akbar. There are too many admirals here.
I think like Akbar turns around and says something like,
"It's a trap!"
Shields her up, and Leia's like, "Okay, Akbar," and then boom, he's dead.
She couldn't have saved him when she saved herself, even though she's already dead.
Right.
Yeah. She's been dead for a year.
And like, that's the thing. She had been dead for a fucking year. And
when the movie hit theaters.
You think that when that scene happens, you're like, oh shit, this is how she dies.
Well, I guess I guess we have to be logical and think about how long they finished filming the movie before she died.
But you can always cut shit in post.
I know, but I feel like they would have had to like refilm chunks of it. Like with Luke at the end, you know? I feel like it could have been a better movie if they just let her die.
It much definitely would have been a better movie if she would have died. Because I
think Luke would have come back to like avenge her, you know?
Not even like, imagine Luke coming back. Where's Leia? She's dead. Oh. And then he dies afterwards. He dies with that regret of not being there and his sister dying.
Really could have done a lot with it.
Force Awakens, I remember watching Force Awakens like, wow, this is gonna be like this is a good start.
It's gonna be a good series, a good trilogy.
I went out and I bought figures for the movie because I'm like, these are really gonna be worth something one day. This is gonna be a beloved trilogy. Star Wars people are gonna love this, and then Last Jedi happened, and yeah.
And see, the thing is, like, I really like Force Awakens, and people are like, "Oh, it's just a New Hope with new characters and whatever." It's like, I don't give a fuck. It was fun. It's Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
And like, I make the excuse that I will enjoy anything Star Wars just because it's Star Wars. But Last Jedi, holy fuck! Watching it for the third or fourth time now, it's still just as bad.
There's some fun parts.
There are.
I think the worst. Well, there's some really terrible parts, but one of my least favorite parts is the whole fucking outer space Monte Carlo.
Oh,
We didn't need that.
what's it called?
And the animal abuse
or something?
and whatever, and yeah.
Star Wars gambling den,
I can't.
Space Chuck E. Cheese.
I just
Space Chuck E.
can't.
Cheese.
Space Kentucky Derby.
Yep. Space that was like a week ago.
I know. Oh boy, yeah, it's too much. It's way too much. And the kids, why the fuck did we even go there? Why? There's literally been no point to that whatsoever. None.
Or like
None.
we were talking about when in theaters, another one of those cool scenes is where Rey's down there in like that pit, you know, and she's seeing all the reflections of herself, and she's snapping her fingers and like
Pointless.
she's exploring this dark side of her character. She's not just all good, you know. There is a dark side to her, and we're gonna find out and explore what that is. And I just feel like it was kind of the cheapest route ever. We got a $20 setup for a 5-cent finish.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm looking at the notes from last year from the movie, and there's a couple that stand out to me. One is yours, Karradyne. How the hell did she not die? Talking about Leia. There's one from me saying I'd eat a porg.
I love the porgs. The porgs are great.
MILF Admiral Holdo,
Oh my god.
right? And another one that just says poor Rose.
It's worse that you're calling her a MILF because today's Mother's Day.
Oh, God.
While we're recording it, it's Mother's Day. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's her name?
What's the
Laura
actress's
Dern?
name? Yeah, Laura Dern.
Laura Dern. If your children are listening, we apologize.
Send me your mom's phone number, please.
Oh my god. Hubby!
Karradyne-
Hello!
Karradyne would let me.
Well, go find Aragorn for me. Too
Okay.
bad he doesn't exist!
That's right.
Get him to dress up and it'll be fine. I don't even care if he's old.
Right. I just like Holdo. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I just like Aragorn. That's it.
Let's see what else. That one scene where Kylo is super confused about why they keep getting mentally connected.
What's happening?
He's like, "Why are we talking to each other?" And Rey's like, "Murderous snake." He's like, "Okay, chill." Like he just asked a very normal question.
I think if it's not Last Jedi, it's the very beginning of Rise of Skywalker where they mentally connect, and she's like, "I'd rather not do this right now." He's like, "Yeah, me too. Like, I'm good."
Oh yeah, we started that movie before we came in here, and I we saw that a little bit.
That's funny. It's like
I don't want to do it either.
I'd rather not be in this movie right now. I was like, yeah, me neither.
She
Fucking
really
sick of you, dude.
she really gave him like the letter K bye, you know. Like,
Yep.
I feel like after this movie, what was it called? Rise of Skywalker had a very rough time being a cohesive movie because nothing happened in this 2.5 hour long movie, but it also set up a bunch of stupid questions that went nowhere. And then J.J. Abrams was like, I have to resolve as many of these plot points as I can in 2 hours. And that's why the movie kind of isn't that great.
you could have easily said that Last Jedi, if you just would have ended the story there, it's like, okay, yeah, like it's kind of a cliffhanger, but at the same time, it also kind of puts a nice resolve on everything. I feel like.
Because if you look at the story of Star Wars, there's always a fucking war. There's always the Sith versus the Jedi, or some sort of system that's
the New Republic, the First Order, the whatever, the Empire,
the Confederacy, right?
I still want somebody to answer my question of, it's like, okay, we've defeated the Empire. The rebellion has won. We've restored order to the galaxy. How did you just let the First Order just creep up on you like that again?
Right.
They just came out of nowhere. Oh, the Nazis are back.
I feel like we're seeing that sort of happen in Mandalorian. In The Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think it's also explained in Rebels, maybe?
Have you watched Rebels?
Haven't.
No. You've watched The Mandalorian, though, right? All the way through to the...
Not.
Oh.
Yet.
You haven't watched this season at all?
What is this season? Season...
3.
It's good.
It started like 2 months ago or so. It's done.
Yeah, it's done.
If you haven't watched this season, I think you'll see it more starting in this season.
Yes, because the whole thing, I think Thrawn plays a big part of it.
And because Thrawn's supposed to be in Ahsoka, which is coming out next. Yes.
So I remember finishing out with Luke getting Grogu and everything.
I remember Boba Fett.
I finished that season, and on this current season, I don't remember exactly what happened last, but for some reason I stopped watching.
Did you watch the Book of Boba?
I think I did.
If he saw Luke giving Grogu...
That happens at the end of season 2. No, because Grogu goes back to Mando in Boba Fett.
Okay, so it's
Luke doesn't get Grogu.
Luke gets Grogu at the end of
the
season 2.
Mandalorian season 2.
Okay.
Midway through Book of Boba, Luke is like, do you want chainmail or do you want lightsaber?
And Grogu's like, chainmail!
So then maybe it's Book of Boba I haven't finished then. I'm pretty sure.
Make sure you finish Boba
I've got you now.
and then go to season 3 of Mando.
Those first 2 episodes of Book of Boba are rough.
Book of Boba came out last year, right? Or
the year before. I think the beginning of last year.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I started watching it in January of last year, and then I just it lost my attention.
You got to get through those first 2 episodes.
Once you get past the whole Din Djarin and Grogu stuff with Luke, it gets so much better. It literally devolves into a Robert Rodriguez movie, but with Star Wars. So you got drug lords, you got crime syndicates.
You literally have Machete.
You literally have Machete, but
it's really good.
It's very good.
You just got to get through that the first couple episodes.
Wait, Danny Trejo?
Slow. Yes.
Yes. Oh my
yes.
gosh.
You do.
You need to finish watching the Book of Boba.
He's a Rancor Wrangler.
He's great. Wild. It's so good. It's really so
I'm
good.
excited now.
Yes.
So back to the movie.
Yes.
It sucks. It's not a great movie.
And Yoda's so weird.
Yoda is super funny.
Like, I know he had lost his mind basically when Luke was with him, right? When he was training Luke, he was a little kooky. Yeah. He was going a little bit crazy from being alone for so long.
He started a fist fight with R2-D2.
Right.
Yeah, he was beating him with his stick.
He needed to be in the loony bin. He was basically in a self-imposed loony bin.
It's so funny because he blows up like the fucking tree with the books inside. And he's like...
Funny I am.
Like, let go of the bus, you Mount Skywalker.
Okay, but
read them, did you?
Page turners, they are not.
That is a solid line. That made me laugh.
Yeah, that was a funny line.
All the times that I've watched it, it's made me laugh.
That was pretty funny.
I've tried to watch it as little as possible, but
just like the I'll hold for hugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, hugs.
Oh,
I
believe
he's tooling with you, sir.
That part was funny too.
Hux is so funny to me. Like, he's such a pussy, and he really proves it.
At the end,
the Rise of Skywalker.
After they kill Snoke and Kylo becomes the
supreme leader.
Hugs just becomes his punching bag.
I know. When he flings him into the controls.
It just absolutely beats the dog shit out of him for no reason.
No wonder he turns. He's getting bullied. I think he really hated Kylo even before he became the Supreme Leader.
Another gripe I have about this one is that The Force Awakens set up Snoke to be like the biggest, baddest dude in the galaxy. Like,
and he's just this dude in a dressing gown. He's like Niles Crane if he'd been in a really bad burn. Fire, not burn.
He literally
been in a bad fire.
Been in a bad burn.
To me, you know the guy who he started like Playboy and everything. Well,
I'm Hugh Hefner.
he was literally just Hugh Hefner.
Space Hugh Hefner.
Yeah,
he
Space
was just
Hugh Hefner.
lounging in his
Lounging
chair
around in the gold robe.
with his dressing
Instead
gown.
of bunnies, he collected Sith children.
Just chilling. Yeah.
Yep.
We need to watch Andor. I need more Andy Serkis in
we
space.
need to watch Andor, yeah. Okay. We talked about how much we hated. Let's talk about Luke, because we hated Luke.
Luke hated Luke.
Luke hated himself.
Mark Hamill hated
Haynes,
Luke.
tell me about Luke.
So, I mean, Mark Hamill, I listen to him, like, I get suggested, like, reels and shorts all the time on, like, YouTube and everything of Mark Hamill. You wouldn't believe the press tour that Mark Hamill has done on how much he hates this rendition of Luke Skywalker, because say what you will about Luke Skywalker in the original trilogy, but, you know, his existence was hope. You know, the first movie, A New Hope, his whole persona is, there's hope in the galaxy if Luke Skywalker is in the galaxy.
He's the prophecy. He's the chosen one.
And
really,
another
right?
thing, he even contradicts himself in this movie, because Rey is like, you saved your dad. And he's like, yeah. And she's like, but you couldn't save a child? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And he gets thwarted by a moody teenager. And that just throws off, like, this decades of his life that he was solid. He trained a whole new generation for something that obviously he didn't really fully believe in, if we believe this rendition of the character.
I feel like there was such a better path available to them for why Ben Solo became Kylo Ren. He's a moody fucking teenager. No shit. And he's got some superiority complex because he's Darth Vader's grandson. We don't need Luke going batshit to make him go to the dark side. Like, I don't know. And I feel like he has daddy issues. I could have, we didn't need Luke going cray-cray.
He spends the entirety of The Last Jedi simping for Rey endlessly. Like, he can't focus on anything else. There are people being blown up around him, and he's like, think I'll go FaceTime with Rey in our brain.
But
You're gonna touch your fingers today.
I don't like. I thought that, you know, maybe Luke was misunderstood. No, this Luke is terrible. Like, this is not Luke Skywalker.
I don't know. Like, I could see Luke Skywalker a little bit when he tells Rey the truth about how he went and, like, looked into Ben's mind and he saw everything and he had the moment of weakness. Like, I could believe that. But the whole moody hermit,
right? Like,
cranky
like, it
bitch.
feels like that could have happened. He could have had that moment of weakness, but he wouldn't have given up on life entirely.
Right.
And
the whole Force and Jedi, yeah.
I get it. Like, kind of, I watching it this time, I realized, like, okay, like, they're leaning on, like, the Jedi thing being a religion, and, like, they're talking about the sacred text. Okay, well, they want this Luke Skywalker to be an apostate, pretty much, of the religion. He's disavowed everything. He can't just be
self-exile,
non-religious of, like, the Jedi religion. He can't be non-Jedi. He has to be expressly anti-Jedi.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I've trained up this previous generation to believe something, to go do something that maybe I don't really entirely believe in myself, so let me try to course correct.
Right.
And overcorrect.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because at the end of Rise of Skywalker, basically Rey is in a middle ground in between a full Jedi and just a normal person with Force powers and a fucking lightsaber. So it kind of did work, but That wasn't Luke. That. Speaking of, BB-8 killed a shit ton of people.
Oh, BB-8 when he was in the
AT-AT.
in the at.
Yeah, he killed a shit ton of people.
Also, I feel like Phasma didn't get a good enough death. Like I think Sarah said, I wish
Finn
he'd
should
like
have gotten
one more blow in. Yeah, instead of just knocking her down and then her falling into a fiery pit.
They killed her in the first movie.
I don't remember.
They did.
What happened?
I expressly remember her like falling down into some like whatever, maybe on one of the ships. Because, you know, apparently when these guys go and design these ships for the First Order and for the Empire, they're like, you know what we need?
Bottomless pits.
Bottomless pits that go nowhere. That's really efficient.
It gets worse. A bottomless pit in space.
Yes. Where you can also get electrocuted if you touch the sides of it.
Yep.
I can't.
Efficiency at its finest.
Bless it.
Yeah, Phasma had a shitty death.
And Rose, I just couldn't fucking stand Rose. I don't want to look at her. I don't want to hear her. I don't want to think about her. She drives me nuts when she's like, I saved you. Like, he was trying to save everyone.
She said, we don't win by fighting the things we hate. We win by protecting the things we love.
All the
fucking hate her.
all the
She's
dead
the worst.
rebels who were just blown up in space were just like,
Really?
really?
Really, Rose?
Uh-huh. They
Rose
were
is
killing
the worst
us.
thing to ever happen to Star
Like-
Wars.
Like, I feel like that scene was so jarring, or to have it, to be Finn, right, and living through that, and then Rose gives you a kiss, you're like, what the fuck is she talking about? She gives you a kiss and passes out.
It was so insincere.
Yeah.
It was
She's
forced.
a terrible actress. Terrible actress. Sorry, lady. She'll never hear this.
We're going to get blacklisted by
Yeah,
Disney for
we
sure.
are.
That's fine.
It's
Who
fine.
cares about
Like
Disney?
like Star Wars Theory did.
It's okay. We're not big enough for that.
So that was actually one of the things that I had here that kind of annoyed me. Apart
Rose
from, yeah.
sucks.
No, that scene.
Oh, that scene in
annoyed
general?
me. I didn't really have any feelings towards Rose. It's
Oh
just
my
that
god, she
one
drives
part.
me nuts.
Like, I was like, what the fuck is she talking about? DJ was awful. He was a scumbag from start to finish.
DJ.
Yeah, the code breaker.
Oh. Benicio.
Benicio del Toro.
Unnecessary.
Yeah.
I shouldn't make fun of that. But he sounds like a snake when he does it.
Yeah.
That was
well,
the-
he was a snake.
that was the point.
Because apparently snakes are a thing in space because they had two
But
snakes.
everybody was talking about snakes. Murderous snake!
It's like, you lying snake.
I don't think snakes are really murderous. They can murder, but they don't have murder in their hearts.
But maybe because they're space snakes. It's
Maybe. Oh my god, that makes me think of Rick and Morty, and that's when I really got turned off by the
so
whole
do
show.
snakes.
I think that episode like ruined the rest of the show for me. The space snakes. Have you
So,
ever watched Rick and
never
Morty?
seen it.
Really?
All right, so we got one last thing that really fucking annoyed me because I was like, why?
A year ago?
Yes.
was
And
that?
watching it again this time.
It annoyed you again.
Yeah. So Luke comes back as a force apparition and gives
A much younger, haircut, clean shaven,
Luke
force apparition
yeah,
version of
he
himself.
gave Carrie Fisher those dice.
Yes.
He goes out to face Homeboy. Mm-hmm. He comes back to his blue milk alien planet, right? And he dies.
Yep.
Why? How?
He expended all of his
Isn't he
juices, all of
isn't
his
he
Jedi juices.
supposed to be the strongest Jedi in the universe?
Well, now that's Ray.
Like, he just dies after.
Well,
Force projecting for
he's
20
old.
minutes?
He's really old.
And like, don't give me the shit that he was disconnected from the Force and he just connected and it took a toll. No. what
He's
the fuck?
old.
And again, when he dies, he becomes a Force ghost because his body disappears. Did he do Force ghost training before he lost the fucking Force? And why did he become a Force ghost when he died after just reconnecting with the Force? Like, it makes no sense why he disappeared.
Wait, does that mean Leia is not a Force ghost?
I think she disappears too.
Does she disappear?
I think so.
I don't remember. I guess we'll find out tonight. They got the movie playing.
Deep fake Leia.
Deep fake Leia, yeah.
There we go. And Ben
Kylo,
is going to be a Force ghost.
Right?
I bet he and Rey are gonna. I bet that one of the new movies they're coming out with is gonna be a Rey and Ben porno of him as a Force ghost.
So
coming back, finally getting it.
So it's gonna be either one of two things. Either Kylo just
laugh into the mic. Come on.
So it's going to be either one of two things, right? So either Kylo learned on his own how to become a Force ghost, or he was just starting out as a Jedi Padawan, and Luke was like, let me teach you how to be a Jedi Force ghost. As the first
just
thing.
In case you go rogue to the dark side, and then you come back to the light, and you die. You can come back as a Force ghost and finally get your pee-pee wet.
I feel like Rian Johnson did not understand a lot of Star Wars. He just saw it and was like, cool. Right?
You said I can do whatever I want with all this money? Say less.
Exactly. He's like, oh, I didn't catch that scene.
May I see a photo of this Rian Johnson?
Yeah. He's like, oh, I didn't catch that scene from Episode 3 where Yoda tells Obi-Wan, oh, I got special training for you while you're in exile. That's him.
Oh.
Does he? What does he look like to you?
You know what he looks like to me? He looks like that guy who is in an episode of Frasier, and he's in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? He's the one who lets him sing into his can. With the milky eyes,
that's
like,
facts.
Oh,
yes.
Bro, you don't do all right with the pecking and the singing, or whatever it is he says. I don't even know.
I don't know.
Singing to the can.
I don't know if you guys have seen Better Call Saul.
No.
But when Gus gets Mike to assemble a crew for a secret construction project he has going on, he brings in this. So Mike assembles this crew to do this secret construction project. The brains of the operation, the architect, he's German, looks just like this guy.
Scummy.
To me,
idiot.
To me, he looks like a guy that walks into an office full of executives, and they're like, "We need somebody to do Star Wars." He's like, "I like Star Wars," and they're like, "You got the job."
It's like Robert California.
And then he's like,
in The Office.
He's like, "What do I do now?"
This movie feels like hate mail from Disney to J.J. Abrams. Like, yeah, this is what you get,
and you're gonna have to fix it.
Yeah.
Ha ha! Suck my dick, bitches.
All right, let's get into ratings. Out of 10, I give it a 6.5. Karradyne.
I give it a 3. It's boring as fuck.
Haynes.
But you do have Adam Driver with no shirt on. Maybe a 3.5.
Oh, Lord.
Give me... Okay, so cinematography, some really cool scenes.
They do have some really fucking awesome shots.
The Holdo thing, that was amazing.
Okay,
that's another thing. Like
you're interrupting Haynes' rating.
No, this is gonna probably help him. The Force Awakens had some really fucking cool shots, like the shots of the X-wings going over the water before starting to fight at Mouse's Cantina. That was a really fucking cool shot. This movie doesn't have none of that.
So I was talking to you guys earlier how much I love the color palettes, especially Rise of Skywalker. If you look at some of the stills of the deep reds and the blues and everything from Rise of Skywalker and how they use that, like when they did the media for it, the posters and everything, loved it. So between that, a couple really good scenes of dialogue, I'm going to be generous.
How generous?
Quite generous.
Oh.
7 out of 10.
Oh!
6.5, maybe 7.
Okay, I mean, that's still not great, so...
No.
Yeah.
I mean...
Okay, it's like a...
It does have good moments, but the whole nothing happening for 2 hours is
The good moments are the Holdo scene, the Kylo Ren and Rey fighting after Snoke gets killed.
You know, the movie's 2.5 hours. All the good moments together are half an hour.
Yeah, and at the end. At the fucking end.
No, they're spread in the middle, in the first, in the end, and in the ender.
Oh, I don't care about the beginning.
It's palatable. At times.
That's being generous. That's a very big stretch, dude. Yeah, That's it. We're never gonna have to watch this movie.
I don't ever want to watch it again.
No.
It's so fucking boring. No, it's too much.
I want to see the director's cut where they completely remove the gambling den.
Yes. Space Monte Carlo.
Give us the JJ cut, and he just cuts like the entire movie.
Yes.
You go in, intro credits, outro credits.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. It's too much. It's too much.
All right, so that's it for this week's episode of A Novel Console. Haynes, thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Is there anything you want to plug?
Anything I want to plug? Oh, man. I'm going right back at it. We need Raimi 4. We need The Amazing Spider-Man 3. I will die on this hill day after day. Also, I think it's ridiculous that you didn't let Spider-Man be in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Oh,
that should
Lord.
have happened. That's all I have to say.
That would have made that movie actually watchable, because that movie was terrible.
It
Tobey
wasn't
Maguire was the
terrible,
best Spider-Man.
but it was a lot.
I hate magic,
Agreed.
and Marvel magic is super fucking boring.
Which is why we watched all of WandaVision in one sitting,
And I was so bored.
and we were losing our minds.
You know what the part that I hated the most about WandaVision was?
What?
Vision fighting Vision, and you see these two fucking dorks just holding onto each other, spinning in the sky, telling each other about Theseus's ship.
Okay.
Haynes liked that scene.
I said earlier
Well,
that
he liked the dialogue.
I loved the Ship of Theseus thing because it was so relevant right then. Like, it was
It was
perfectly
very
placed.
relevant, yeah.
Like, a lot of the times, shows will try to take philosophy and put it where it shouldn't be, but that was perfectly placed.
I could just picture a bunch of little kids being like completely mind blown and having like a mental awakening at that scene. Being like, but if you change the batteries on my Game Boy, is it still the same Game Boy?
I can't.
What were you gonna say, Karradyne?
I don't know what I was going to say. I have no idea.
All right, so that's it. Do you want to say goodbye, Karradyne?
Goodbye, everyone.
Do you want to say goodbye, Haynes?
Goodbye and see you soon? Question mark.
Maybe.
Hopefully, yeah.
Maybe, depending if people like this or not. They probably won't. Goodbye, everyone.